later.
Shout out to David Fraser, who works at Sustainalytics. He worked on a report with a little bit with me. It was his report. I just kind of looked over his shoulder and was like, "Oh, cool."
Threw your name on the
diversity and human capital for U.S. companies, and he went out and he actually hand collected data on companies and their diversity, whatever they would say, whatever they said. There were 90 some-ish companies that I think it was like 100, just over 100. 100 or so companies in the U.S. that reported some level of diversity statistics about their workforce. What's interesting about the Intel report is they took it to the next level where they actually said pay disparity between these groups. That I don't think exists anywhere else. That is really next level. So congratulations, Intel, for being next level. But ultimately, we'd be remiss if we talk about this without talking about why anyone should care about it.
Okay, is it not obvious?
Well,
but yeah, go ahead. Why should they care?
Okay, so there's an obvious social reason that people should care because humans, right?
Yeah,
that's a reason.
That's a reason.
But there's a reason if you're a company or an investor, you might want to care about this. And I have a snapshot of a chart from the report that David Fraser worked on or created that showed what he did was he went around and he didn't just say, what's the racial gender makeup of companies that tell us this? What he said was, what would you expect the makeup of companies to be given the talent where they exist, right? If you are a company with one shop in Atlanta and you're a company with one shop in Canton, Ohio, you would expect the racial gender makeup to be different. And if you were making microchips in Atlanta and microchips in Canton, you'd expect it to be even more different. Because you need a certain level of expertise to maybe do those things.
Right.
So David did this thing where he went through and he said, okay, not just how many people are white and get angry at that or be glad. I don't know. Maybe that's you.
Right. Yeah.
But he said, how many people are white, Hispanic, Asian, black, and how many would you expect to be white, Hispanic, Asian, or black? What he found was no surprise that minorities, in particular blacks, are underrepresented in all levels of management and at most companies.
Yeah, and this chart demonstrates why I think Asians are part of that majority population, right?
It does, because Asians are actually overrepresented relative to what you'd expect. It's why they get considered part of the majority.
To a considerable degree.
To a considerable degree. This chart is IT sector. So this I grabbed this chart because it was from, for those of you listening to the podcast, you can't see a chart, but it's basically a chart. It's a bar chart. Just imagine, just close your eyes, think of a bar chart.
But you can go to freefloatmedia.com right now and find this chart.
Can you really? I think.
Well, can't you go to? Don't we have the slides?
Oh, we'll put this up in the slides later. Yeah,
Fine.
So you'll see it. You'll see it later.
Yeah.
And it was an MSCI report because David and I worked at MSCI together before David went to Sustainalytics.